right, welcome back, guys. So I got some clutch rod links, you know, for the Z bar and everything. People say these make a difference pushing in the clutch, for a manual clutch anyway. You know, instead of going to like a hydraulic or whatever, they say this is a pretty good improvement. One thing on the forums, they said this was the weak point, was this bracket, but that's a pretty beefed up bracket. I'll have to compare that one to maybe some of the older kits. Maybe they fixed some of that issue, because some things on the forum are like 10 years old, but I don't think that bracket is going to move or adjust any. Yeah, because I said the original ones would bend, and they look a little different. This one looks a little different from, I think, online what I saw. So this one looks a little pretty beefy, so I won't have to worry about that. Reading the instructions, this end that turns in more loosely has to go towards the clutch, you know, the clutch foot or pedal itself. So I have to kind of remember that one, you know, according to the instructions. So so it says to take out the old, I'm just going to do little by little. So it says to, you know, take it up, line it up, get the same measurement, and then put it back in. So I'm going to start with the upper one, because the one below, I'm going to have to jack up the car and slide underneath. So this one I'm going to get underneath here, take out the one on the pedal itself, and the pedal itself, and then the one that comes out to right there. So that's going to be our, you know, this one right here, I do believe. So that will eliminate that, and then the lower one, it will have to, you know, adjust that too. So you can kind of see the old setup, and the way it's set up. So this one has a pin that we just take out, and there's a pin on the other side. So we're going to take out this one first, and then we'll try and get down to that lower one later on. You reuse, you'll have bolts to put through here, and so that'll eliminate this pin right here, and of course the pin down there, you know, and all those pins. But you have to keep the one on the pedal, the pin, you know, the Carter pin or whatever you want to call it, on that particular one. So that's what we have to do. So I'm going to take this one off first, and then get the measurements, stick it in, and go from there. I can always make the adjustments right here. So when I do get this one out, all right, and then might have to take the spring off too, because it might be, you know, binding it too much. So I might have to take that spring off too, just let it hang there. But yeah, all right, so first things first, I'm just gonna take that spring off using a pair of needle nose pliers. Okay, so get it on there. Twist it. Twist it out. Let's just let it hang there, okay? Then take that pin, my needle nose. Come on. All right. So you got that. Come on, focus. Got that little pin there. Look how old and crusty it is. All right. There we go. Just comes right on out. Oh. Ow. Okay, so this one is in a tighter spot. All right. some wires. And to get that pin out, that's not going to be fun. There's just a Carter pin in there. Come on. It's not wanting to come out. All right, almost there. Okay. There's that pin. And we'll just take it off like that. Oh, I'm stuck. Oh. Okay. Just a Carter pin that comes out of that. And, oh, that was not fun. All right. And that's the original bar. So now we'll just take it over to this bench here and measure it up. All right, hi. And I think I got really lucky. I just barely put these in, you know, and I'd even take no measurements or nothing. And look at how dead close. I mean, that's just luck. All right. Really is just luck there. All right, so the way it bends, and you have to make sure you get the right bend to it. Okay, so it's gonna be like that. So we want that to have that same. All right, so word of note, they want you to use this washer instead of the one. Oh, where are we at? So this is the original washer down on the clutch pedal. Okay, a little thick, and they want you to use a thinner one, just because that these ends are thicker, you know. So we have to just use a normal washer that comes with the kit, and then the pin goes, of course, on the outside of it. So that's the one difference there. All right, because this one, like I said, it's just way, come on, focus. This one's just way too thick. It's about half the size, and you can kind of see on the end there compared, come on, focus. So you can kind of see how much more thick that, you know, what the ball on the end is. All right, so that's just a side note. All right, so here, let me zoom out a little bit. Oop. All right, so here's the Z-bar, or the rod that goes to the Z-bar. So we just take out those clips right there, and, you know, those Carter pins, and pop them out. And then we'll take out the Z-bar itself. So that's actually supposed to be that way. You can kind of see the ball in there. So it's supposed to have play. So I was worrying about nothing. I am going to grease it up though while it's out, and maybe clean it up a little bit. That way it'll look nice and shiny when I put it back in. So let me go ahead and clean it up since I got it out. And then, yeah, then we'll reinstall it and grease it up. Got my grease gun somewhere. All right. Just move it over here. Let's adjust some stuff here. I don't want to get too crazy. Just gonna use some brake cleaner real quick and see what comes off. Put that brake cleaner, a little bit of stuff. It's not too bad to begin with, but I said we could even repaint it if I wanted to, but I'm not gonna repaint it. Of course, that would look nice. I don't know. Okay, so the problem with the instructions is that it doesn't show a very clear picture. So there's that bracket on the clutch fork. I guess that's how it's supposed to go, but to see, I don't know. I'm gonna have to get the other part down here and see exactly how that's gonna line up, you know, to this end, to that end, because it just looks like it should be flush this way, you know, instead of that way. I don't know, because when we push that way, so I don't know. Anyway, let's get that arm and see exactly what it looks like. I'll look at the instructions again too, but we have to connect that somehow. All right, so there it is installed. I don't have anything tightened down, just snug, and you can just adjust it by this this tension rod, so you can move it up and down, back and forth, whatever. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna get in the car first. I'm gonna hook up my spring to my Z-bar before I tighten any of the bolts down, and I'm just gonna test you know, what the feel is like. Sorry, I lost you that way. That way I know it's engaging and doing all its things. So, but that's what it looks like underneath. So it looks like it's gonna work pretty well. I greased up that Z-bar really good. Now it moves pretty smooth on there also, so that's gonna help also. All right, so let's go put that spring back on the Z-bar, and then we'll test the clutch. There's quite a bit of play. You can even see just with my hand how much movement there is. So we have to tighten that up first, a little more tight, because this length is pretty damn close to underneath there, and you can kind of see. You see that little bracket, how it moves. So we have to tighten it up quite a bit, because you want that. You see that? I think that's the complaint they have, is that bracket moves down right in there. You see it right there? Yeah, that won't work. But anyway, that little bracket right there moves. I think that was everybody's complaint, because see, that's kind of the weak point that nobody likes. I can kind of see why now. Let's tighten it up and see what happens. It's still, I mean, it goes into gear and everything, but it's kind of hard to get into gear. So I think I need to take out a little more play, because you know, when I press down on it, there's that little bit of play, and so I think I need to bring that the clutch fork out a little, or well, out in, however you say it, where it's going to push in further, because I don't think that clutch is fully engaged. And so we're going to just take it out just a little bit and then try it again. All right, so easy adjustment, but I want to make sure that, you know, that clutch is fully engaged. All right, so one more thing I noticed I screwed up on. This rod was supposed to go up on top. I had it on the bottom, and that was probably creating a little bit of a bind also. So now that I switched that and adjusted it to where I think I need it, let's try it again and see if we can see if that clutch engages better. I think that's what was happening there. I was probably binding up a little bit because it was on the bottom instead of on the top. So let's try it out and see what happens. Way better. I think that's what was happening, was I was binding up. And so, yeah. And there's just a little bit of play. I mean, not a lot. Maybe about like a ½ inch. So let's try that. Let me lower the car and, you know, put it in gear a few times and see what happens. Smooth, much better. So just reverse is a little bit harder to get into. I just have to, of course, reverse is always a pain. There we go. It's that lockout that always gets me. But without the engine running, it feels smoother. So anyway, we'll try it. I'll take it for around the block and see if that, you know, when it's running, maybe it'll make it better. There's a little bit of both there. So I got it adjusted just right. Shifts pretty good. I mean, these old munchies, they would never shift like butter anyway. I've never, you know, never driven one that's shifted perfectly. But yeah, much better. The only difference is because now the pedal feels different. I have to get used to the pedal. So now it's a little different, but I'll get used to it. It is solid though, I'll tell you. It's just because like before, it just felt like more of a, I don't know, a little more slop. But so now it feels a lot more sturdy, a little more precise. Let's put it that way. I know exactly where the clutch is engaging and disengaging. That's probably the best benefit to that. You know, it's either that or like a hydraulic clutch. But I'm trying to keep everything somewhat manual for the most part. I don't want, you know, you start adding other stuff, you know, especially with fluids and stuff, then just another thing that'll break. You know, I don't mind the manual clutch. It just takes a little more oomph. If anything, with the steering, I might go electric assist one day, but I don't really want power steering either. I just don't, I don't know. I'd rather have it in the suspension than that, because once you get moving, you know, the steering and everything's fine, but it's just when you're just barely start to go, you know, take off. And the car's light now. If it was like a heavy vehicle and you didn't have power steering, it'd be different. But all right, so there's my install of that linkage kit, and I'm just waiting on some suspension parts and of course my wheels. Hopefully they'll be coming in here in a few weeks, and maybe we'll get some new tires on there and wheels and suspension, and we'll go from there. So now in the in between time, I could get back to sanding, you know, and working on this. So okay, we'll see you guys next time.